One of the real challenges of mobile development is working with forms and form elements.
This video is brought to you by OppiePie's Academy.
In this segment, I'm going to show you how you can use jQuery Mobile to create mobile-optimized forms really easily. You can see I've already got a basic document structure here. I've got the jQuery Mobile CDN included with the style sheet, the jQuery core library, and jQuery Mobile. So let's start with a basic text input. Basic text input is really easy. Let's go ahead and first of all do a label. And we'll just call this name. We'll have the user put their name in here. And now the form field itself. Now this is going to look a little different than it would without the jQuery mobile libraries. Because again, the idea here is we're simply optimizing this for mobile. Give this the ID name so it works with the label. And there we go. So let's take a quick look already at what this looks like. And there you can see nice and big, easy for the user to type in a mobile environment. It has some nice contrast from the background. Again, all styled by the jQuery mobile library. Now, there's also a miniature version of this particular field. So if we wanted to do that, we'd go ahead and use the attribute value pair specifically for jQuery mobile. Data mini equals true. And that's going to give us a slightly smaller, here you go, field in which the user can type. It's about 15% smaller. It's not really dramatic, but it certainly does the trick. Now we also can wrap text inputs or any type of controls inside a container. So let's go ahead and wrap this here in a div. And I'm going to use, again, the jQuery mobile specific attribute value pair data role field contain. And that's going to put a field container around these items. So they'll be contained within that specific area. And I could put any number of controls in here. So it's data-role field contain. All right, let's take a look at our result once that's done. So let's put a second control in here so you can kind of see how that works. Let's do an email address. And then, of course, we could design a look for the field container using CSS. So we've separated it out. But we haven't necessarily given it a look through CSS. That's really up to us. So you see how these are now together. Now, by the way, you might have noticed I used input type email, and that's going to bring up on a mobile device a keyboard that is optimized for mobile input. There's a number of these specific optimizations that bring up different types of keyboards. For example, in addition to email, let's go ahead and ask age. And age, of course, is just a number. So that does a couple of things. That's going to bring up the optimized keyboard, but also give us these little controls here on desktop. But if we were on a mobile device right now, we'd see the keyboard that's got the numbers and not the letters, and also any symbols that are associated with numbers. We could also ask for a date. And the ID here will be date. So let's go ahead and change that to date. And the type will be date. I should have changed this one to age like that. Okay. So now date, we notice it defaults to MMDDYYYY for year. We also have this nice drop down from which we can easily select a date. And that's kind of finger friendly and works with actual mobile elements. Now, we also have in our forms frequently text areas. And a text area is a large multi-line area in which you might put some content. So let's say label for, let's ask in the text area for their life story. Exactly what you usually want. Life story. And then let's go ahead and use our text area tag. And we'll ID this as life story so it matches our label. Now, if we wanted any default text inside the text area tag, we could put it right here. That would start inside, but we're going to leave it blank at the beginning. All right, and save. And there's our text area. Now, notice it's spaced a little bit below the other elements, and that's because it's outside the field contain, right? It's outside that field container that we have all of these previous elements in. So the user could type their life story just like that, very, very easily in here, or at least as easy as you can do these kinds of things in mobile. Now, things like radio buttons and checkboxes are also optimized in jQuery Mobile for easier use on mobile devices. So let's actually do some checkboxes. Now, these are going to be a little different than probably what you're used to. And that's because, of course, we're introducing the jQuery here. So I'll use the label tag. And then inside the label tag, I'll have the input. Type equals checkbox. And name equals journey. We'll do bands again. And then here inside the label tag, just like that, we have journey. Then we close the label tag. Do a couple more. So we have journey. Let's do REO Speedwagon, another one of my favorites. And Foreigner. All right, let's see how that looks. And here you can see, now the reason that these work the way they do is you can touch anywhere on these, not just the checkbox, to check them. And that's, of course, a lot more mobile friendly than, having these single checkboxes like you would with standard HTML rendering. Just add a little label here, favorite bands. And there we go. So you can see how jQuery Mobile is used to easily render mobile-friendly widgets and controls inside of your applications.